Hello, viewers, and welcome to the latest episode of The Huddle. I'm Las Vegas correspondent Brian Joseph, and I'm here today with Mary Cheeks, the president and general manager of Jamul Casino near San Diego. Mary, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
To start, we're conducting this interview at the end of March, which is, of course, Women's History Month. You've been a bit of a trailblazer in the gaming industry. Can you talk a little bit about your journey in what's largely considered a male-dominated industry?
Sure. Within the gaming industry, I started as a supervisor of internal audit. It was an all-male department. And what I learned pretty quickly is that you have to gain trust and respect of your coworkers, male, female. And the way I did that was constantly just being a high performer. It gained the trust and confidence in my capabilities, and slowly I became part of a team at that supervisor level, being promoted up to manager, director, VP, and so on. So that's my secret sauce, is gaining trust and respect.
And your secret sauce, I also understand, is a particular love for numbers and finance. Isn't that right?
Yes, I've been in love with numbers since age of 9 or 10. So up to counting my dad's pocket change, and just anytime I had my hands on money, counting it with my parents.
Sounds like you were meant to work in a casino.
Exactly. I didn't know it back then.
Now, as I understand it, you actually moved to the gaming industry from the IRS, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Yes. That was a real coincidence, I would say. In my junior year of college, when all of the recruiters come out, you had at that time, it was the big 8 accounting firms. There were several investment banker firms, and then there was IRS. I had my focus purely on being an investment banker on Wall Street. When that fell short, I had no other alternative but the IRS. So I interned there through my senior year, and when I graduated, I began working there as a field auditor, revenue agent. People don't like you much in that field.
I'm sure people like you a little bit more working in a casino now.
Absolutely. So if you work in a casino, Brian, you really need to be wired a certain way. And the IRS was really way slow moving for the way I'm wired.
I was going to say, there can't be a lot of managers of casinos, presidents of casinos that have your particular background. That has to be unusual, correct?
Correct. They mostly come up through either the gaming end or marketing end, but you do have your CFOs that move up into your GMs or your CEOs, but mostly on the marketing and gaming end.
Not a lot of IRS agents, so that's pretty cool.
No, not at all.
I'm sure you make the other managers out there a little nervous. You know, you know some secrets they don't.
No, I'm a total marshmallow. I make everyone love me.
Now, for those who aren't familiar, the Jamul Casino is operated by the Jamul Indian Village of California, which is a tribe of the Kumeyaay Indians, who are sometimes known as the Mission Indians. Can you tell us a little bit about the tribe and its history in gaming?
Yes. The tribe for 20 plus years tried to make their way into gaming because, of course, gaming is the path to self-sufficiency and self-reliance. There were a lot of false starts, but finally, in February, I think 14, there was a groundbreaking ceremony for the Jamul Casino, which opened on October 10th of 2016. So it was really a long way coming. And I share stories with the chairwoman and her mother about in the 1960s, how their housing had dirt floors and no plumbing. So they've really come a far ways from that time till now. And it's all about services for the tribe, education, healthcare, so on and so forth. And they really believe strongly in giving back to the team members and the community at large.
That's an amazing story. Talking about just what a short amount of time, and how far the tribe has come to say that, just a few decades ago they were living with dirt floors. I mean, that's an amazing and truly a testament to the power of tribal gaming.
Exactly. I agree.
Can you tell us a little bit about, for those that aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about the Hamul Casino? What's your gaming space like? What's your amenities like? That sort of thing?
Jamul Casino is about 17 miles from downtown San Diego. Our casino floor has 1,700 slots, about 50 table games, 20 poker games. And we have three, and within that game count, three high limit space, one for blackjack, one for slots, and the third for Asian games. The way our restaurants and bars are established, they circle the casino, of course, so you could eat, drink, and get back in action quickly. So we have 8 restaurants and 4 bars.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Our steakhouse. Well, I kind of like 3 of them. Steakhouse, I love Chinese food, so Emerald's, and I love the loft with the yakitori and the noodles.
Ooh, that sounds very good. You're making me hungry.
Yeah. Well, I inhaled lunch to do this interview. I'll eat later.
Okay, well, I hope you got to enjoy it at least.
Yes, I will.
So tell us a little bit about Jamul Casino's clientele, or to put it another way, who comes to Jamul Casino and why?
Jamul Casinos is really a locals casino. 80% of our visitation comes from within 100 miles, and that is San Diego, Riverside, Lakeside, and LA County. The remaining 20% is probably just visitors from out of the state and just counties that we don't specifically track. So it's more of a locals casino. Coming from East Coast here, when I start hearing about staycations, I was like, what is that? And it's because the locals want to get away from the busy lifestyle and just relax. And they may live 50 miles away, but they'll come to the casino and stay to entertain themselves.
Yeah, the staycation concept is sort of a uniquely West Coast phenomenon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you see as the biggest issues facing tribal gaming today? I know that's a large question, but I imagine from your perspective, you have some thoughts on that.
I would say it's the tribal gaming, and I think it's about 80 tribal gaming establishments in the state of California who all have exclusivity. So to lose that and commercial gaming coming in, and like the last threat was online betting. You had your FanDuels and your DraftKings, and then you had the tribe with their own initiative. So just the threat of losing that exclusivity is, I think, the biggest concern in tribal gaming.
At least in California, I know that's an ongoing conversation about what may or may not happen in the sports betting arena. Are you hearing any chatter in that
No,
on that topic?
No, I know it's constant. A constant topic, but in terms of movement to bring it into the state of California, nothing along those lines.
That's also a uniquely West Coast, particularly California phenomenon. Things move slowly until they don't.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Who do you view as the leaders in America's tribal gaming sector? Are there particular individuals or particular tribes that you admire?
That's an interesting question. Since most of my gaming career was on the East Coast, I always kept in focus the Seminoles, because just amazed how they own the state of Florida. Moving to California, with all of the large, beautiful casinos, what I admire is so many are ran by women. You're just to name a few, Red Hawk and Cache Creek. So I admire quite a few leaders, but I'd rather not say because I don't want one to think I admire them over the other. So we really do a great job in tribal gaming here in California.
Well, fair enough. I'm curious. I've seen some talk that at least some analysts believe that in future years, tribal gaming operators will become the top gaming operators in all of the country. We're already seeing some hints of that now with San Manuel operating the Palms in Vegas, the Seminoles, as you mentioned, owning Hard Rock. Do you agree with that assessment that tribal gaming operators someday are poised to become the dominant gaming operators in America?
Yes, I do. However, I don't think it's going to happen overnight as cash flow is built up in the various entities. Of course, it's all about diversification of your revenue stream. And no revenue stream is as strong as hospitality, your hotels, your casinos, your restaurants. So I do see a lot more tribes branching out into the gaming space.
It's an exciting time to be in gaming, particularly in tribal gaming, I think.
Yes, I agree.
At G2E last year, I caught a tribal gaming panel about the importance of tribal gaming operations hiring members of their own tribe. What are your thoughts on that? Does the Jamul Indian Village of California have a program to facilitate something similar?
Yes. In terms of our recruitment, if Brian, you and I had the same skill set, but you were tribal and I'm not, you would have preference over that position. So there's a tribal preference in our recruitment. And also we have intern programs. Intern program based on levels of education, higher level of education, management intern. So it is all about educating the tribal membership. And
I assume,
we do not isolate that to the Jamul Indian Village tribe, other tribal, Jamul Indian Village tribal members as well.
I assume that's about building for the future, training the workforce for tomorrow, for the tribe, and ensuring a strong future for the tribe.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't quite understand the regulatory environment that tribal gaming operations exist under. And that's probably something that you had to learn a little bit about as well. I think there's a misconception that essentially tribes manage themselves and that there's really no oversight. But that's not the case, is it? Can you describe a little bit the sort of regulatory oversight at the federal, state, and local level that the Jamul Casino deals with?
Yes, first, from a commercial space, you have your gaming commission that really oversees that casino industry. In the tribal gaming, there's three layers. Your gaming commission is your primary oversight. Then it's the NIGC, that's secondary. And the state kind of falls in the middle when there's anything regarding a compact, that's the state. And also positions such as myself, I have to be licensed with the Gaming Commission and the State Gaming Board as well. So it's actually more oversight than what I'm accustomed to.
And doesn't sometimes you get in some issues with the locals as well, right? Like maybe the county or something like that?
Yes. Within the state of California, although we're on federal land or, reserve land, there's still a lot of county influence in terms of zonings, permits, and what you need to do.
So you're really, I'm sorry to interrupt. So you're really juggling a lot of different government oversight bodies as you're trying to move through the day and trying to accomplish your agenda.
Yes, which I'm not accustomed to, but I've learned it to be.
Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, that's why I brought it up, because my sense is that was probably the biggest learning curve when you came into this job.
Yes. Well, what I find is in the state of California, there is a lot more code for building, zoning, and permitting and use permits. So it's a lot of interfacing with the county, with your local planning and zoning board, with your neighbors, your community, as well as, what's structured under the federal and state. So it's really careful navigation, not to leave anybody out of the loop that could kind of shut down your initiative.
It's got to make it difficult. I mean, because one of the fun things about being in the hospitality business, being in the casino business, is trying new things, trying new bold things. And you really have to, walk that very careful line to make that happen in California.
Yes. But I do find that innovation is a very high watermark out of tribal casinos. And that's why it's so much fun here. You're not penalized for taking risks that may not pan out. And that's what makes it so creative and innovative and kind of forcing down the path of growth.
Why do you think that is? Is there something about the tribal gaming environment or tribal gaming space that encourages innovation, maybe more so than a commercial operation?
I would say it's in commercial. It's more about the shareholder and making sure there's no miss to your EBITDA, thereby your share pricing. Whereas the tribe, they're looking for profits and revenue share for future generations, but it's not at all costs. They're willing to take a risk to move 2 steps ahead, or the risk didn't pan out, so let's change course. A lot more flexibility.
And I would imagine a lot more of a longer term time frame that you get to work with too. I mean, you mentioned the concern of shareholders. You're always worried about the next quarter. I imagine you probably don't have that quite sort of pressure at a tribal gaming facility.
No, a little bit as it comes to your lenders,
Of course.
and you have reporting there, but not as stringent when you have shareholders and you have to bring it every quarter.
That makes a lot of sense. Before we go, what can we expect from Jamul Casino and the Jamul Indian Village of California this year in 2024?
Well, we're poising ourselves with upping our game in terms of guest journey and further automation, and ready to bring on a new hotel in the first quarter of 2025. So you'll see a lot more visitation and creativity and innovation from Jamul Casino in months and years to come.
Well, that's exciting. Can you tell us, do you have a grand opening date yet for the new hotel?
Not really. It'll be close to mid to the end of the first quarter of 2025.
That's exciting. I'm sure that's taking up a lot of your time right now.
Yeah, I could be more specific if it stops raining, which I was told it doesn't rain in Southern California. We've had a lot of rain.
A little monkey wrench into your plans. Well, we're certainly going to be looking forward to when that happens, and I imagine we'll probably be talking again when that does happen. That sounds like an exciting endeavor for you all.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'd like to share all of the newness that comes with the hotel and Jamul Casino.
Well, very good. Mary, it's been great talking with you. Have a great day, and thank you.
Thank you, Brian.